All right, good morning everyone. So as you can see, I'm giving you a little POV action if you're into that sort of thing. But I think we neglected this bike way too much. I've been stockpiling a lot of parts for this thing, and I think I'm going to actually finally get it done today since I am off from work. As you can see, I have all these brake lines all just kind of dangling everywhere. I have this, which was mistakenly ordered by myself, but I'm going to use it anyway. I also got in my clutch slash rear handbrake lever, so I'm gonna be installing that with this. It's a 13 mil. That's really, in my opinion, all you really need. I have the hardware for it, and I also ordered a shorter banjo bolt because the one I had for the front was way too long. Without further ado, let's get started on this. We have a lot to do on this bike to get this bike actually rideable by tomorrow. Today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, obviously. Oh, also this is a trial run, so I don't know if this camera's even lined up properly or anything, so we'll see how this video turns out. The first thing I need is my gloves. So I'm the opposite of a normal person that doesn't really care and works on vehicles. I don't like my hands to get really dirty. So I think it went this one first, and the washer, and your glass washer. All right, that's good. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put this one on. So we put that here. Kind of just mock. You want to just mock this up. Let's try. This is something you guys are gonna have to do. You're gonna have to play with it a little bit to kind of get your right angle and whatever's comfortable for you. I see a lot of guys, they switch them, and I don't know. It's a matter of how it's comfortable for you. Okay, so I got it mounted. I figured it out. It wasn't really that difficult. So I mounted everything first with the actual hose on there, and I played around with the angle, and I can get full, and it still clears. I don't know if you can see, or if the camera's gonna pick it up. It'll still clear this little brace right here, and I can still reach my finger out. Boom, so I pop, and I can already be on a brake again. I'm gonna fill these up with fluid. I do have the brake switch that I can plug in. I don't really care if this triggers. It's basically just to trigger the rear brake, so when you hit this, your rear brake lights up. I really don't care. I don't care about that. It'll trigger off of this, and it'll trigger off of that. So, I mean, I'm gonna mount the, put the crush washers on, put the line on. It's an 80-inch line. I'm gonna put that on real quick. Might have to get a little bit longer of a hose up here. Tighten this up. So this line, I'm trying to figure out how to route this a little bit better. This might work a lot better. Crush washer, rotate. So that's good because it actually doing that, actually pulled it a little bit tighter up against. I really don't care if it shows right here. Before I bleed them, I'm gonna change the rear brakes. I changed these pads. These pads are all brand new. I haven't changed these yet. So I'm gonna swap these out real quick. I'm not really gonna go into detail on what I do or the whole process. It's literally an Allen bolt right here, regular, I think a 12 mil. Pop that out, whole caliper comes off. Pull this, pull the slider off. Both calipers drop. It does have the metal shielding in the back. These have them. It's like a little shield. I don't know if you can see it on video, but I'll show you guys once I get everything apart that you want to swap out and put onto here. Okay, so I just got all the brakes bled. It is actually very much later. It's probably about 3-4 hours later. I was taking breaks in here and there, but anyway, I have both brakes bled in the rear. The front brakes are bled now. I finally bled them. Got the rear handbrake bled, which I got to get used to. So the rear handbrake, I'm gonna have to kind of get used to. This is like the little adjuster. it'll set the handbrake a little bit further away, which is good because I can still reach it because I have big ass long fingers. All the brakes are bled, both handbrakes, foot brakes are whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. Next thing I want to tackle is the cage. Cage is a piece of shit.
Several bad puns later.
Okay, so I don't know exactly where I left off. It's been a little bit since I actually worked on this bike. I think it's been about a week since before you saw that little SpongeBob time card. And the problem that I was having last time was I could not find, as you can see, how the cage sits. It sits closer on this side than on this side. I went to Lowe's and I picked up some more washers, and I have a 7-inch bolt, half-inch bolt. Now, they don't make these, as far as I can find, in stores unless you go to a specialty store in grade 8. I wanted grade 8. I got galvanized, so this is probably gonna either bend or break. It is what it is. Oh god, let's see if this works. And I have a dog in my face. Come on. Good. All right, we're probably gonna have to hammer this home. And as you can see, I don't think this cage is gonna, I think it's gonna really reach. So I'm wondering if I should just leave one of the spacers out. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out real quick. I may remove one of the spacers there and then screw it in to make it kind of cinch it tighter, and that might pull that closer in where I can use this dinky all thread. So I'll come back to you guys in a second. Okay, so I figured it out. I got rid of this spacer because, as you could see, maybe if my camera angle's good, this is actually a grade 8 bolt that's in here. That one's nice and tight, so I think we're good to go. I have enough thread on this side as well as this side. That's why I said I think this was homemade, or it wasn't exactly made for this year bike, because I think the holes were drilled out bigger. So I think that's pretty good. Oh yeah, she's a lot sturdier than she used to be, that's for damn sure. Now I got that done. The radiator is loose right now. I think I'm gonna pull the radiator off and down, and I'm gonna replace the spark plugs. I thought I had to remove the whole gas tank, but I don't. I can reach right up and just grab all the spark plugs. So I'm gonna change out all the spark plugs on here. For all those wondering what spark plugs I'm using IMR 9C-9HE. Oh wow. Should be able to screw most of it in by hand. That's it. That's all it's to it. And do the same thing, repeat for each one. Should be good to go. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna look at all four. They look like they do have some oil on them, so that could be a problem. So let me just remove all four, then we can kind of look at all of them outside of the bike, and we can go from there.
1 hour later.
All right, so I got everything back in, and before I put the coil packs back in, I want to just go ahead and show you guys. So each one of these is pretty oil soaked, but nonetheless, I'm gonna put these coil plugs back in, button everything up, and then I'm going to try to tackle the rear, not the rear, the 12 o'clock bar. Okay, so update. Got everything squared away up here. Got everything bolted down. Radiator's good to go. Has enough flex, has enough play like it's supposed to. Cage is on. 9 o'clock bar is on. Let me get these bolts on this sub cage so I can get this bike 100% squared away. All right, so got everything on here. It took me a little bit longer than I wanted. It does clear the fairing. I probably can cut a little bit more out over here, but I'm not going to. It bolted down just fine. Oh yeah. So that in a nutshell is me putting the bike back together. I'm hoping I can start really learning on this bike hopefully soon. Obviously I can't today because it's raining out. It's also dark. I did not expect it to be this dark out. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video. I hope you guys are staying tuned. I know I'm missing some things that I probably could have talked about with this bike in the future. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and just stop it right here. You guys already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. It helps me out in the end. And stay tuned because this car is gonna be, I'm trying to get this car back up and running. And I'm probably gonna be doing a video of trying to tune it and data log it. I have someone that said they can remote in and they can kind of go through the car and see what the problems are. So stay tuned for this as well. But you guys already know what to do. Number 1, stay hungry. Number 2, stay humble. Number 3, stay motivated in all of your life's goals. Always remember, good things in life never come easy. Like I said, work your ass off for it. Your boy Machine here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see something real quick. Oh yeah. How do people do this? Oh man. This is gonna be crazy.